Hey, everybody. This week, episode 23, Enjoying Orange Slices. We talk about Montreal and Vegas. We talk about Tampa and New York. We also talk about my canoeing trip for the first time in 30 years last week. It was only 115 degrees down on the Colorado River, but we made it somehow, which reminds me, we'll talk about weather in Terrace and how nice it is up there at the end. Love to all. Enjoy.
And we're started. Jeff just walked away for no apparent reason. He said, I'm out of here.
Well, I'm back.
Welcome back, Jeff. How are you? How are you? I love it. I love that you dropped by.
Yeah, we're trying to get the lighting right. Evidently, there's just not enough lighting to make it look good. So
we can't make anything look good here. I've been loving your updates after the games. Have you been enjoying doing those?
Yeah, it's been fun. Actually, we kind of for those of you out there that don't only tune in for this, can only handle us once a week. We've been doing after each semifinal game between Tampa and the Islanders and Vegas and Montreal. We've been doing a little photo. What would you say, Lord Bagg? 40, 50 seconds, maybe a minute.
Yeah.
Just a quick recap on the game and where the series is and things that we see that are trends and things that we see that teams maybe need to.
You've been doing it. And we got you to start doing it because you went to the first two games in Vegas with Montreal or Las Vegas, and it was great because you did one from inside the building afterwards, and then you did one outside the building. And I think it's fun for me. I don't know if the people at home enjoy it, but I enjoy that you get to go to the games and yeah. People were hoping. A couple people were hoping it was going to be live and they were going to be able to talk to you while you were doing it. So that would have been great.
Well, we're not that far along on the technology front as anybody that's watched this podcast or listened to it. But it's been a lot of fun. And you know what I'd love to do? I just wish the border was open. Well, then Montreal would be full. But I love the fact in Montreal that there's 3,500 people inside the building and 25,000 people outside the building.
It's awesome.
I just you know what? What are we doing? Just open it up. Let's fill up the building. Let's get after it. You know what? Let's get after it. Come on.
From what I've read, Canada's almost ahead of the game now with the vaccine. So I don't know why they haven't opened it up. But there's nothing more disappointing than seeing a Montreal Canadiens fan that stood outside with his homemade Stanley Cup having to leave after a lose. After a loss, he's just walking away.
Hey, all those guys are at home. They're seeing on TV. And of course, they pan outside every time. That's like throwing gas on the fire. So people are at home. Like, screw this. Let's go down to the plaza. Let's go down in front of Bell Center. And so I just love it. 3,500 in the building. 35,000 outside the building.
I wonder if you can hear a little bit of a cheer from the outside. I wonder if you can hear it kind of like outside more than inside. So
yeah, it would be interesting. I thought that the other night because I know after game one, or it actually was a Colorado series, game 6 that they beat Colorado. Might have been game 1 against Montreal. As people were leaving the building, they started chanting "Go Knights, go!" and it was so loud in there. Mm-hmm. And I just wondered, it's got to echo down the hallways and that, and I'm sure the players can hear it. And it's really cool. I mean, it's great to see those folks out in Montreal. It's been a long time since they've been able to cheer like this, and it's just unfortunate they can't fill the building because it would be electric in there.
It would be pandemonium. I just got back myself. I was in Raleigh from Friday until Sunday. Flew in last night. But great seeing people wearing bunch of Jerks shirts. They were wearing those at my shows, and so they're following that team and they're loving it. So it's good. I love the way the game is growing. So it's awesome to see.
That didn't have Jerks on it and then orange slices or anything, did it?
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of orange slice and jerks.
Yeah, that's good. I love what Carolina's done, and we weren't going to talk about this, but we'll throw it in there. Rob Brindamore, Coach of the Year, Carolina, did the right thing. Right? All his staff back. Well, we're on coaches, which I know we're going to talk about. Great move. That team's ready to win. Just a matter of whether they can make it out of the, out of that side next year and out of their division, because it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, well, it takes a while, and remember DC forever. They were struggling; they couldn't get by Pittsburgh forever. So you have to time it. Hopefully, they keep that all together and keep growing. All right, just leave. That'll be good.
I'm leaving again. Here, I feel like half of me is in the shade and half of me is kind of got some proper lighting. So
very artistic.
This is only 23.
It's very artistic.
Well,
Just
I mean,
enjoy
but
it.
you're the artistic one. I don't want to take that from you.
No,
We're only
no.
in 23. There's no way we could have possibly figured this out in the first 22 of them. Come on.
No, God, no. We need at least a couple of years before we figure this out. Let's keep going with coaches then. Your buddy, Gerard Gallant, gets a job in New York. Congratulations to Gerard Gallant. How do you feel about that, Jeff? How do you feel? Because I've got an opinion about it. So I'm going to let you go first.
Okay, I'll try and keep it short and sweet. Oh,
correct.
Either I just answered something or I got an email. I'm not sure which it is. But yeah, he's been great. And he's a great guy, great coach. Players love him. I love the fact that he waited it out and got a job with Original Six. We always talk about New York Rangers. Come on, Madison Square Gardens. I'm excited for him. I love the Rangers. And I just, it's going to be tough for him too. I mean, the Islanders are, they look like they're around for a while. It's going to be a tough division for him. But he's a good guy, great coach. And, oh, by the way, he just coached Team Canada World Championship and they won the gold. So he's ready to go. He'll do a great job.
And started out, they lost their first 2 games, and it said, hey, let's just get it together. And then they went on and took the whole thing. Here's my opinion on it. I'm concerned because there's a little bit of crazy owner in New York, right? And I feel like he's gotten a really bad ride the last 2 coaching jobs he's had. We know Vegas is just, I don't see why he would have been fired, but Vegas loves to go with whatever the prettiest girl is in town, right? So we know that's what that happened. But also in Florida, he also, they didn't even give him a cab ride home. I'm concerned that it may go off the tracks there. And I don't, because you do hear how guys play for him and love him. You do hear how people just like to be around him. You hear how he's a good guy. And I don't want to see it tarnish any part of his image by having a crazy owner. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I think you've got a valid point, but there's an old saying, right? Still water runs deep. And but don't mistake for one second him being a great guy, which he is. He's hilarious. He's got a great sense of humor. He's just a good person. He was a great teammate. But don't mistake that for him not having a fire that burns inside. And if you ever go back and watch when he played, you see all kinds of fire that he had. That's in there. I think New York obviously they felt like they needed a clean house.
Right.
But they didn't. They brought a guy in with a proven track record. They got some guys. They got some superstars there. They got some young guys. He's proven wherever he's been.
He wins.
He wins. And in Vegas, you know what? You saw the business side of the business in Vegas, right? I mean, he was revered here in Vegas with Derek Englund, who, is kind of the hometown boy. Wife's from here. His kids are from here. He lived here in the off season. One of the few people in pro hockey, I think, that ever did that. Marc-Andre Fleury, the other one, and Gerard Gallant. When this thing got started, those guys carried a heavy load, and so, yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting ride. It's going to be some getting used to, but I think he's going to be able to get a lot out of that team. And, he's the kind of guy that the guys will love playing for, and they'll have a really good time. So I hope the Rangers have a heck of a run, and I'd love to see them playing this time of year next year.
I do look forward to the divisions going back to normal again. I'm done with that all Canadian league and nobody playing each other. So I'm done with that. So I'm looking forward to all that happening. Let's get into some NHL semifinals. Talk about hockey right now. Let's start out with Tampa Bay and the Islanders. So the other night you called me up. Are you watching this? And I said I didn't even know it was this night. That's how we started off last week.
We're doing a hockey podcast, and we don't even know when the games are on.
And it got better. You said I missed half of the third period because the cord fell out of my TV. Yeah.
I went to our TV's been sticking, so I went to go. I'm like, I'm going to reset it during the commercial, or pardon me, during between the second and third. So I'm sitting there, and my TV screen won't come back on, and a cord had popped out of the back of the cable box. And so I'm listening to it on the radio, and I'm trying to watch it on my phone, and I'm like losing it. And I'm like, what is going on here? So I walk over, and there's a cord popped out the back. I pop it back in. And it was back operational within minutes.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. But anyway,
we're a mess. We're the worst.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we don't have any good lighting on this show, because we can't even get a TV to work.
I'm gonna have to leave again. I got to get some more lighting. I feel like I'm the Phantom of the Opera right now. There,
he's very upset. He's not dealing with it well.
I know. I never usually let this. It doesn't even matter now. It's just getting worse.
It's affected his game. It's affected his game.
No, I've changed 3 times during the game here so far, and
must be my gloves.
not performing any better.
Yeah, it must be my gloves. I think this is why I'm not playing well. It must be my gloves.
Yeah. Well, actually, talking about gloves, are you going to be here? We got to get the shameless plug in first. Mr. Bagg, Lord Bagg,
yes.
Desert Pines Comedy Club Series at Desert Pines Golf Course again this weekend.
Yes.
That's right. It's Friday night, right? June 25th. Yeah. Are you going to be here to skate this week or what?
What time are you skating?
9 o'clock on Friday is one of them.
9 a.m. And then what time? Because that one I'm not going to be here.
You're not going to come in Thursday?
I have to meet with old Ron on Thursday night. I have to go.
Right. All right. Well, we got the plug in there. We're not going to be able to get you on the ice this week with your gloves that are, I'm keeping good care of here. So
thank you. It's a great story. I thought it was. I was told it was last week because my wife is going to this meeting, and when there's meetings, she gets very fired up. We have to be on time. And last time it was with our taxes, and she took us there a week early. And she did that with this meeting with Ron. She had us going there last Thursday, and it's this Thursday. So, anyways, I will not be there Thursday night. I'll be there Friday morning. Desert Pines Golf Course. Blah blah blah. Hey, make sure. Are you allowed to give a shout out for your coaching as well? Are you allowed to?
Well, I mean, we're just out there skating, so.
If you're in Vegas and you got a kid that wants to learn some hockey, send a message to us here. We can can figure out something. We can figure something out. Let your kid become a professional through Jeff Sharples' skating academy.
We're also giving comedic courses too.
That's right.
This weekend,
and we also do
8 to 10, right?
Yeah, 8 to 10 on Friday night, and then Saturday morning we'll come over and fix your TV.
Yeah, maybe you're actually not bad with that kind of stuff. Maybe you can give it a once over for me, so if the TV doesn't go out into the pool this weekend while the games are on. I was like, oh man, I was good.
I'm surprised you haven't set up an outdoor TV so you can watch it from the pool. I'm surprised you haven't done that yet.
Yeah, that's a little bit above where I operate. TV inside the house is good. It's 115 here, Ian. Jeez.
Oh, it's crazy. It's so hot. I can't wait. I can't wait to do a comedy in 115 degree weather.
Well, it's going to cool down this week, so I think you're still going to be able to be outside. 99, it's going to be Gretz on Wednesday, and then a slow build. So I think you'll be okay. 99 is going to feel like 65. It's going to be unbelievable.
Who is 65? Who is number 65? 68 was
Adam Shaw. Shaw and wasn't he in Chicago? Shaw. Said Adam Shaw. Shaw, anyways.
Yeah, Shaw. So you're gonna be. So we're gonna be Chicago Blackhawks.
Andrew Shaw. That's it.
Andrew, Adam, whatever. Nobody cares about him. Who cares about him?
He's got 3 cups. He doesn't. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This is all about Wayne Gretzky. If you're not Wayne Gretzky material on this, we're not talking about you. Anyways, let's get back to. We just skid in the ditch, and we said we'll keep it there for a while and mudded her out. What did you think of what's going on in something's sneaking into your
it's on this side.
What is that?
Oh, look at that. It's a Father's Day gift. I guess it's magic. I don't even know what this is. Oh, it's a ring light.
No way, you got a ring light.
You can't see me good enough now, and it doesn't make you sick enough. Just wait till next week. You'll be able to see me even better. And I didn't even know what I got going on here today, but that's very nice. Happy Father's Day. So I got a ring light. I actually got a light. And then when you bring the cord to Vegas this weekend,
you're gonna be on fire.
I'm going to be so lit up. You know what? I'll look like we'll have light like the top of the Luxor. That's how bright it's going to be. So,
oh my God.
Thank you. And I got to give a love to all in that one. That was awesome. So totally. I was going to get blindsided there for a sec when I saw it coming in, but anyways.
Yeah. I thought you were being asked to leave the house. You want to, don't screw with our TV, get out of here. Anyways, back to Tampa. Tampa goes hard and beats the Islanders one game. And then the Islanders come back and beat them one game. And that's where we are, 2-2. How important was that goal that was stopped by that young defenseman in Tampa?
And the Islander defenseman Pollock?
Yes. Sorry.
At the end of the game. So I don't know. If you're not a hockey fan, you should really Google Ryan Pollock, P-U-L-L-O-C-K. I think it's 2 L's. Stopping with no time left, a wraparound or kind of a great move by Ryan McDonough of the Lightning to try and tie the game in Long Island on, what was that, Saturday night? It was an incredible play on both ends. And anyways, that would have sent the game into overtime. And then who knew what was going on? Because Tampa Bay was starting to come on. New York had got up to a 3-0 lead. What was really impressive to me about the last couple of games I watched with those two teams, first of all, how the Islanders came at Tampa hard on Thursday. Tampa was able to withstand it and somehow squeeze a 2-1 victory out in Long Island, where that place is just absolutely bananas.
Bonkers.
The next night, the Islanders kind of got it going and kind of got Tampa Bay reeling backwards a little bit, which is pretty rare when you watch Tampa play. The second period was the big one, and they got up 3-0. And in the third period, before you knew it, with about 7 minutes left, I guess it wasn't before you knew it, but it took some time, Tampa got it to 3-2, and they were pressing. And that series has been amazing. It's incredible. One of the things that's helped New York is they've been able to keep the power plays. They're giving them to a minimum, and they've been able to defend Tampa Bay's power play pretty well. So really, who knows what's going to happen these next two games, but these guys know each other as good as anybody, and it's just great hockey.
That's what they've been saying, right? Is that if you want to beat Tampa, you can't give them any power plays. That's the thing that's out there. I enjoy that the Islanders are really not giving Tampa much respect. They're like I thought the other Carolina gave them a little bit more respect. I think really pushing hard back on them. I also think it's the Islanders' brand of hockey is usually a little bit more boring, and it hasn't been as boring as it usually is. So
the Islanders are going back and forth. They check really well their offense. Really, it's taken a couple years for Barry Trotz to really get his fingerprints all over this team to start. They've been very successful, but they're able to open it up a little bit more now. But usually when they get the lead, that spells doom for the opponent. And Tampa Bay came back and got them running around a little bit, which is a little bit out of the ordinary for New York once they get the lead. But really, there's not a lot between these two teams. You keep Tampa Bay off the power play, they can beat you 5-on-5, and they're still as legit as anybody out there. But you give yourself a better chance to win because their power play is operating at such a high level.
Right. When you played in New York for a little bit, right? You were there for a little bit. Well,
I was in their organization. I never played there, but yeah.
All right.
I was in the state. Does that count?
Yeah, as long as you're in the state. Where was their AHL team? Were you on their AHL?
Yeah, so it was in Capital District, just around Albany, New York. So we used to go down in the city all the time. And Bill Torrey was the GM then, good guy. We had Butch Gorian as our coach. And then Dean Chenault was one of the guys I played with. He's one of the assistants in Carolina now. Done a great job. Chinny, there's a shout out for him. And Chinny. Then Day Off is the GM for the Winnipeg Jets, who was also playing with us in Capital District. So
I didn't know he played with
guys. There's some guys I can throw in there. Rick, let's see what. Prior, he was in Philadelphia forever in their upper management. So some really good guys there. I could go through the list and pinpoint if some of them are still in the game.
Cheval Dayoff is a little bit older. He's older than you, right?
No, he's younger than I am.
Oh, he looks horrible.
Where to go next time Winnipeg comes in? I'll be. There's no way I'm getting in the morning skate and going saying hi to him.
It was a joke. He would have got it. It was just question though. Did you know? Could you tell at that point that he wanted to go into management? Like, did you? What was it? Does it read on a guy while he's playing that there's something after hockey for him?
Yeah, there is. I'll give you a couple of examples. We'll use Chevy for one. First of all, Chevy was a high draft pick, rugged defenseman playing in the Western Hockey League. He had a lot of injury problems when he came up, and so he was in and out of the lineup. But Chevy was in unbelievable shape, and he was a real gamer. But his body just he had just so many injuries, he couldn't keep going. He got into assistant coaching, and he's coached with Butchie in the Islanders organization. Then when we went out to Vegas, or I caught up with Butch again in Vegas in the IHL, when Butchie went up to Utah in the IHL, Chevy came in as the assistant coach, kind of assistant GM kind of thing. And then Chevy kind of went on. So you could see that, he had a knack for it. He knew talent. He knew how to build a team, which he's done a great job in Winnipeg. That's one of the tougher places to build one because they don't get a lot of free agents. Right. And then the other guy is Todd Richards, who I played with in the IHL in Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Thunder. And Todd has bounced around the NHL, but he was in Tampa last year for the Stanley Cup that they won. He was an assistant coach. And this year, he asked if he could move on, wanted greener pastures, whatever, and they allowed him. And I believe he ended up in Nashville. And you could see by talking to Todd Richards back when we played with him that he totally thought the game at a different level and looked at it a different way. And those guys are special guys.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I always wonder if you see that in them when they're playing. You're like, oh, get to know that guy because we can get tickets off him afterwards. Let's move on to Las Vegas and Montreal, the Premier Series. Turn off your camera and then come back again. Perfect. You're out of control.
I'm like in your skin today. I'm bouncing around like I'm 10 years old.
How many coffees did you have?
Not that many.
You're bing bong, bing 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 bong bong.
I'll tell you what happened. The reason I'm just happy to be alive today because we went in below the Hoover Dam yesterday and we canoed for I think it was 14 miles down to Willow Beach, Arizona. Which I'm going to send you a picture and I'll show you what the water looked like when we started. And then the wind came out of the south yesterday afternoon. And I don't even know the last time I was in a canoe, but it was probably on Lake Elks Lake. So that tells you that, I'm not a fossil, but I'm not far from being one. And we were giving her all we could to go into this wind once it started picking up, getting closer to Willow Beach where we got pulled out. But it was an incredible day. What I didn't realize is there's so many hot springs and that in that area going into the Colorado River, but I'll send a picture of just below the dam what the water looked like, and I'll see if I can find another one.
Don't even say you're sending a picture. Just look up here. Here's a picture right here, everybody. Right here. We're gonna put a picture.
It's on the other side. Yeah, get it on the other side. But anyways, so today I was just happy to be able to get out of bed. I was like, I can get up and have a coffee. This is great. So one of the most beautiful things in the world. I love the Grand Canyon is one of my favorite places in the world. The Colorado, obviously, below the Hoover Dam is a beautiful stretch of water as well. And I just wouldn't recommend canoeing it when it's about 112. But anyways, the water was like 47 degrees. So
that's what made me laugh when you said there's hot springs. I'm like, it's hot everything. It's not hot. Everything's on
These
fire.
Hot springs are crazy. So anyways, we gotta move on. We've kind of been talking about a lot of other stuff today, but I'm just
it's not just a hockey podcast. It's about you treating your life right. And you just taught everybody, go canoeing, but check the temperature before you go.
And maybe do it like if you're going to go, maybe try it out. Maybe, don't wait 30 years in between canoe trips.
If you're going to go for a run, don't start in a marathon.
That's what it felt like. We had like 4 or 5 gallons of water by the time we got out. We like had a gallon left and we're like, it's like,
ooh, I guess it was hot.
Anyways, we haven't even talked about Vegas, Montreal, have we?
We're about to. We're gonna do a very good. Okay, I'm gonna go on my take on Vegas, Montreal. Vegas is struggling with their forwards. Montreal is just keeping everybody to the outside. The defensemen are scoring, but they seem to be shooting from so far out, and it's just not getting to the net. It's driving me insane. Okay, over to you.
No, that you got it. Vegas has had a hard time getting their hands around what Montreal's doing. Montreal's keeping them off balance. You can tell Montreal's getting a breakaway, maybe sometimes two or breakaways a game, which is very rare for Vegas. They just don't give that stuff up. But one thing Vegas started doing last night, we'll talk about the power play. The power play makes, if you've got a good power play, what it does is it takes pressure off every other part of your game. It takes pressure off your penalty kill. It takes pressure off your 5-on-5 play because you can be a little bit more relaxed. You don't have to squeeze the stick so much, knowing that 5-on-5, you have to score somehow because your power play is struggling. And then penalty killing, you're squeezing the stick because you're almost trying to do too much because you know you can't give something up. So give full marks to Montreal. Vegas has had a hard time getting their arms around what's going on with Montreal, and their power play is really, it hit the post last night. They've had some posts in the series, but
we've had a lot of posts in the series.
So last night, though, Vegas didn't play their best game, ended up finding a way to win. Robin Lehner was awesome. The biggest thing for me, what's that?
Robin Lehner was amazing. He was
awesome. And you know what? This guy he's just huge. He's such a big guy and so athletic. But the big thing to me last night is look where Vegas scored their goals. Braden McNabb below the hash marks on a give and go, great pass from Carlson. And then in overtime, you had Pacioretty, Tuck, and Waugh right on the doorstep, right on top of the blue paint, hammering away, creating havoc against the Canadiens, two Big D and Sherratt and Weber, who have just been amazing. And that is where they're going to have to win against Montreal. They're going to have to make them play in that area. And Montreal's goaltending and defense has done such a great job. I think both these series, 2-2, is exactly where they should be. Montreal is, and we talked about the North and the North Division, but Montreal has done what they've needed to do, and they're right there. And there's a lot of belief in that room. Corey Perry's been unbelievable. Caulfield, this kid's a rookie. Suzuki, their defense. So yeah,
I look forward to Caulfield growing into his head. That's going to be fantastic.
Well, you and I never grew into ours, so what makes you think?
he's got a melon on him though. It's just like he looks like a bobblehead coming down there. But how great is he? And Suzuki just living up to that trade. It is like Montreal is not a weak team. Whatever they've come into their own. It's taken them a whole season to do it. And the only thing that scares me about if I was a Montreal fan, when does the other shoe drop and Carey Price gets hurt? Because you just know it's coming. It's just he whereas you talked about Chevy, his body seems to, everything's there, but it just kind of lets him down at times, right? And I'm just like, I know, shake your head, but I'm just like,
I'm not shaking. I mean, injuries are a part of the thing, but I think the bigger story is Carey Price has made everything. He's so smooth in there, right? There's not enough O's and smooth to explain watching that guy play goal. And when he's feeling it, what he is awesome. What are you chirping me on that? Come on, he's smooth. But
he is great. He's amazing to watch. You're just like, oh yeah, that's why that guy gets all that money every time.
He's incredible. And what I would say is, Pacioretty helped set up the winning goal the other night. So if Pacioretty and Stone have had a fairly quiet series, if they get going, then that helps Vegas. But really, I think part of the thing is the power play. If they get a bounce or two, that's going to help. But again, Montreal, Byron again last night, another breakaway, another goal. Montreal is the real deal, and they don't do them any favors this year. I think they showed what kind of team they have, and I don't know. It's been a hell of a series. Montreal is kind of came in with a chip on their shoulder, and they're just showing why they're there.
Just like our producer Brian Almy, he's just a big chip on his shoulder for wearing his Montreal jersey around the house, yelling at everybody. I've been watching. It's interesting though. It just feels like the dam's about to break with Vegas and just start scoring because they I think Tuck is amazing. I love the way that guy moves and how big he is. And all of a sudden, it's like rec league hockey when he does some of those end to ends and around. You're just like, what's going on here? But it doesn't seem out of control.
No, he's amazing. He's about He's a little bit bow-legged, so that gives you a different center of gravity out there. He's so strong on the puck. Only thing I'd like to see is a couple stops and starts out of him once in a while. I'm like, Tucky, come on, you got to stop and start once in a while.
Right.
But he just gets going out there.
He's
a younger version of Burns, right? He's so entertaining when he gets the puck, and he's just a guy that people are like starting to see now, and I give him credit. He's really matured, and his game is growing. He's stapling guys to the boards now. I think he's watched how hard Stone and Pacioretty, Stevenson, and Wild Bill, and those guys work. And I think he said, "Hey, that's what I want." And yeah, there he is, right in front of the net last night. And let's give a tip of the hat or a stick tap, as Eddie O would say, to Nicholas Waugh for him having the wherewithal to score that overtime goal. He shot it. It came back to him. He held it, and then he just put it top shelf.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have shot that into the concession stand.
That's exactly what I would have thought. When I was watching, I was like, I would have just put it right back into his chest. That's where I would have put it.
Well, we needed a change anyways. Hey, get the goalie to freeze the puck. We got to get off the ice.
All right, let's get to our shout outs of the week and then wrap this up.
Okay, my shout out, we got a couple, but this one's for the men's Paralympic was played this past weekend. Canada, U.S. Canada ended up winning 2-1 in a thrilling game, and congrats to both teams. It's like one of those things. The Paralympic players are special people. You got to watch them play. They just go at it. So 2-1 Canada. Tip of the hat to both teams. Good for you guys.
Good for them. My shout out goes to a friend of ours you fly with, Jimmy Durgish. His son Jack. Here's a picture of Jack, Mason, and Max. Jack Durgish. He went out for his tryouts for his first travel team here down in South California. He's down in he's down in
say that again.
South California. He's in Orange County, and he tried out for the Gold Rush hockey team, and he made it. He's the youngest kid on the team. He's 8 years old, and he's on his first travel team. I'm amazed by Jack's, like, I was talking to Jimmy about it. The kid's going to be like, Jimmy's like 6'6" or something like that. And the kid's going to be that tall. And I'm amazed by his coordination. When I was 8 years old trying to just get my hands on the stick, I'd miss it in half the time. And this kid's just got wheels on him. But yeah, congratulations, Jack, Mason, and Max. Big picture of you right there. Congratulations on making a team. I know that's really exciting for when you're that age. He's just thrilled, and I'm sure Jimmy in his pants with all the money he's going to have to pay for the kid to play.
I told Jimmy, I said, "Hey Jimmy, better go get some overtime. Like you're playing travel hockey now." Good luck to you. Anyways, yeah, it's a great story. Went back and forth with Jimmy yesterday. We worked together. Jimmy's on now, flying for. Jimmy works for American Airlines now, so hopefully. Things are going well over there for him, and it sounds like things are going crazy in the airline business as a whole. So, anyways, that's it. Good. Anything else, Mr. Bagg?
No, that's all. I'll see you on Friday.
I'll see you Friday. Loved all. Well, everybody, that wraps up Enjoying Orange Slices for another week, episode 23. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, Mr. Baggs Lord Bagg is in Vegas this weekend, June 25th. Desert Pines Comedy Series, Desert Pines Golf Course, 8 p.m. Friday night, 8 p.m. We said we're going to leave you with some weather, so we're just going to leave you some temperatures around the country and up in Canada. Los Angeles, currently in Southern California, Mr. Bagg is 79 degrees, 106 here in Vegas, 84 in New York City, 75 in Terrace, British Columbia, and in Kelowna, British Columbia, where a lot of hockey players live in the off-season, especially a lot of the Montreal Canadiens, it's currently 84.